Good morning, guys. Well, today we're taking you on a local track. This is one of our favourites, one of our top 5. Most visitors won't even get to do this or see it or even know it's here, to be honest, let alone have the time. So we'll take you on it. I'll just swing the camera around. So this is the locally famous Arrow River, previously a very rich gold mining area, and a lot of history here, a lot of history. And it's also the area where they have the autumn colours, the beautiful fall colours, which are stunning. So we just come across the bridge here from Arrowtown. We're going to head up Tobins onto New Chum's Gully. New Chum's Gully track's quite popular. A lot of us local runners and hikers and walkers do it. Also very dog friendly. And then we'll drop onto the New Chum's Ridge track, which then takes us down and drops us into the Macetown Road, the famous Macetown Road, and then back to Arrowtown. This is Phil. This Arrowtown just below us. Some of the most expensive real estate in all of New Zealand. And then over the back you'll see the most photographed lake in New Zealand, Lake Hayes. Queenstown International Airport right there in the middle. Being international only serves Australia because the runway's so short and limited. They can only get 737s and A320 Airbuses in, so small jets. So international from Australia, but yeah, literally hundreds of flights a week in peak season. I'll just clear that screen there for you. And very, very busy airport January, February, March. In fact, it's running at capacity on those months, even though it's been literally doubled in size this last 7 years. So this is New Chum's up here, team. Most of you will never see this. You won't have the time. Brow Peak up there. We climb up there on the odd occasion. That's around 1,600 metres above sea level, I recall, give or take. Train spotters don't quote me on that. Coronet Peak ski field, stunning. We're making the most of the weather today because it's been an absolute shit last month. We had more rain and snow in the last week of September and the first 2 odd weeks of spring than I can remember in the last 10 years, to be honest, and that's no exaggeration. Okay guys, we're just dropping down New Chum's Gully track. So the ridge track's just over in front of us here. If you zoom in, if you're really interested in zooming, you'll see some crisscross tracks on the side of Brow Peak, their big hill. So all around these mountains here, you can actually match up, link tracks and trails. You can go for 100 plus miles just in this one valley if you really want to. But it's stunning country, there's just no one around. It's the beauty of the South Island. 1.5 million people maximum in the entire South Island, which is half the size of the country of Japan. And they've got 160 million. So you sort of crunch those numbers yourself, you'll get an idea. So he's dropping down New Chum's now. So because there's been so much rain, this is really slippery underfoot. We wear Solomon Speedcross running shoes, Speedcross 6s I'm in at the moment, and they're really knobby, but you cannot get away with flat-soled street shoes in there. You'll end up slipping over and breaking something. So we use knobby shoes, and it's pretty challenging at times. Just because of the sheer amount of rain we've had. Sort of an unprecedented event for many, many years. Hasn't certainly set a record, but it was right up there. And we're going to see a lot more of that as years move on. Much more extreme weather. And it'll just get worse and worse and worse as the planet continues to warm. As we're seeing currently in the cyclone hurricane season in the United States, Gulf of Mexico. It's only a little taster of things to come. Anyway, dropping down new chums here. This section is obviously not a running section. Nice little technical section. It's quite good to do this at a warmer night too, with a flashlight, for those that are keen and want to sort of have a bit of an adventure for the difference. Very safe out here, guys. There's no carnivores and nothing that's going to hurt you other than your own stupidity, falling off a edge like that, or not coming out prepared. Most accidents we have in these hills are just from individuals not being prepared and taking risks. So we're just dropping down quite a steep drop here. It's often better to come the other way from the Macetown Road. We wanted to come down the opposite direction because of the afternoon sun. As I was saying, because we haven't seen the sun for really a decent day for about 4 weeks this time of year. It's not even winter. We're just trying to get some of those rays on our bodies. This is Phil. So when you come into this track, there's one water stop. It's about 3/4 of the way through, going anti-clockwise. It is drinkable. You can drink out of that. We carry camelbacks on us anyway, but that water's perfectly fine to drink. It's the beauty of what this country beholds, is our riverways, and a lot of locations and corners of this country haven't been rooted by farming runoff and phosphates and chemicals as they have in much of the industrialised world. So we're coming onto the Macetown Road now, guys. It's really famous for four-wheel driving. It's probably one of the top four-wheel drive roads in New Zealand, to be fair. There are a lot of them, but not any crossings like there are here. There's about 30 odd river crossings here, and you've got to know what you're doing outside the summer months. There are often inexperienced four-wheel drivers that end up driving into holes and basically riding off their vehicles, because of course they're not insured off-road. So it's often best to go with someone that knows what they're doing and where to cross when the river's higher, but that's common sense. There's not much of that around. So we're dropping back down into Macetown now, and this is the water scheme that feeds the town of Arrowtown. The beautiful spring colours are starting to kick in now. So in the mid to late 1800s, this river was the focus of one of the richest gold rushes that New Zealand had, and pretty much all been stripped away now. About 9 years ago we did a riding event from the other side of the valley through there, about 50 kilometres or 40 kilometres away. And it was raining so heavily, we had about, without an exaggeration, 200 mountain bikes lined up here, way up around the corner as far as the eye could see, and they were bringing us across this bridge because this river was swollen so high it was actually up-lapping the road. And a couple of art individuals, you always get in events like that, attempted to cross the river earlier in the day. Their mountain bikes were gone and they were very lucky to survive. So they closed the mountain bike section of the race down. It's called the Motu Tapu and it's on every year. I'm trying to remember, I think it might be early April. Or, yeah, I think it is early April. Late March, early April. But yeah, a lot of memories in this area. So this is the big slip we had during the rain event we had about a month ago. We're about to walk through this, but yeah. And the rain we had the last 4 or 5 days would have dislodged some loose stuff. I don't think the council will ever do anything with this. I think they'll just put up with the fact that it's going to be part of the trail now. It'll cost them too much, and the ratepayers being shafted as it is, with massive increases on rates every year. And I mean, our rates in this area in Queenstown have increased about 100% in around the last 9 to 10 years. 1 decade up 100%. I would love my business to be able to do that, increase my prices by 100% over a decade. Out of control. Anyway, we're coming down into Arrowtown now. This is the bottom end of the saw pit track now, and this is a really popular local track. Once again, most visitors won't know it's here. We certainly bring a lot of visitors up here ourselves because we know it. But yeah, very easy to get to. It's a loop track, really only a track to do in good weather. And this is really as good as it gets. Late afternoon sun, Arrowtown. Okay guys, so here we are in famous Queenstown. One of the most expensive towns in New Zealand to live in as far as real estate goes, right up there with definitely the most expensive. I'll just take you around to New Zealand's first police station. So Chinatown's over there, China Village. Should I say it's a walk? It's an historic village, and it is not ruined by shops and people selling crap. It's the way it was 170 odd years ago. Just walk around into the car park here. So I've changed all of this. They're future proofing it for the future tourist boom. So we're heading towards a post-COVID boom in visitor numbers this summer. This will be the busiest summer on record for New Zealand. This is the first New Zealand police station. I won't take you in there. If you come into Arrowtown, which you probably will if you've given yourself enough time, do not rush the South Island. Do not try to do it in 4 or 5 days. You won't. You'll skim the surface, you'll be on and off a shuttle taking photos. What a waste of time. We see people doing it all the time. So there's Arrowtown up there. That's a gold town, established about 1860, or maybe 1862, 63. So the first nugget of gold in New Zealand was found pretty much on the spot. There's a little memorial down the footpath a little bit further. This is also part of the Queenstown Trail, and this trail now has just had a new section added to it this last sort of 7 days. There's now around 145 to 150 kilometres. It's about 80 miles of trail, undulating, gentle trail. You can even just come here and ride bikes for a week. Absolutely stunning. Not forgetting this is the calm before the storm. We're talking October. The busiest months are December through to March. It's absolutely insane here. Hardly any walking space. This is Phil.